I wish I could have done more to help in Martira. I was so ready to prove myself too.
Welcome back to Metaphor ReFantazio! Last time we finally solved the dirty business in Martira for good, and this time, Gallica's doubting herself for some reason, and I can tell what that's gonna lead to. Though one thing that I will quickly say, I had a recording problem when I tried to record this part for the first time, and my last save was right before the Homo Jaluzo fight, so I had to do the whole fight again. And this is proof that the recording curse is real. I never even attempted to use Tsukasa on Heismay in this attempt. Heismay dodged 3 times when I redid the fight. He never dodged, I'm pretty sure, in the on-camera recording, so, yep, recording curse.
But maybe I've found something better. A goal worth chasing. So I'm gonna focus on that from now on.
The mystical fairy Gallica, keeper and heritor of the mage's virtues, through thy shared bond, a new heroic embodiment slumbering within thee has come to blossom. Bear this new power. Foster this connection, and by their strength, fulfill thy destiny.
It's you and me. Our destinies are intertwined.
And this is a part of why Magic build can struggle a bit, because you don't get its second tier archetype until after the first 2 major boss fights in the game. But now that we have it,
Wizard!
if you looked at Wizard and said, it's just Mage but better, you would be right, but it's also so much more. It has the 3 second tier single target elemental skills, but then at rank 11 it gets the Shield Blessing passive. This has the user recover 10 MP every turn when they have a buff active. And that's not a hard requirement to fulfill, because Wizard unlocks right before the buff-focused Commander archetype becomes available. And at rank 20, you get another passive, Arcane Unity. As you've seen so far, Synthesis skills are extremely good, and so anything that buffs them with 10% more damage has to be amazing. It also raises the base accuracy of all Synthesis skills, except Fortune slots. Wizards can't solve your gambling problems, sorry. But this accuracy boost seems good unless you know that the majority of skills in this game have a base accuracy between 95 and 99. Still, although it costs 12,000 mag, it is very worth inheriting this. Though raising Mage and Wizard to rank 20 on a Peerless Stonecleaver user might be difficult. Better save up those Heroes' Leaves of Light. But as for Wizard's own Synthesis repertoire, it's very similar to Mage, expanding all your elemental attacks to multi-target, or upgrading them to the next tier of single targets. You also get Skyfall Bolt, the electric equivalent of Meteophore, though far less enemies are weak to this. And yes, you will have to switch back to the lower tier Mage to use Meteophore. Plus, you've got Makara Break when you need it. Overall, Wizard, like I said, it's Mage but better, but it's also got some fantastic passives.
Okay, now all we have to do is head to Briarhaven and wait for Joanna to arrive.
Ah, about that. Dashed inconvenient, but there's apparently been a landslide on the Valley Road. Utterly impassable.
And this is your excuse for why this story won't progress until the deadline is over.
The old road crews should have the mess cleared by the competition, so until then, your time is yours to waste.
Well, we're not gonna waste it, but yeah, we're gonna spend it, certainly.
Time marches on, and the age of a new king draws near.
Yes, speaking of time, it in fact does march on. And now we finally get, well, I mean, I think we heard it briefly when we first arrived, but now we finally get to hear the real Martira daytime theme. The music that was playing previously is actually not Martira's music at all. It'll be quite a while before I can explain what music that was. But yeah, we need to lend a hand to the various problems in Martira and in the other regions. I've still got quite a few things to do. I've taken care of the debates, but there's still some things left. But also, what's important now is that Hulkenberg and Stroll are available for bonding. Now that the crisis is over. And not just them. Also, what did you unlock in the memorandum? Parapus riots! An incident 12 years ago where a group of Parapus suddenly revolted in the outskirts of Grand Trad and lashed out at the Crown Theocracy's forces. There was officially deemed a riot by discontent over discriminatory treatment of the Parapus tribe. There remains some public doubt as the motives and goals of the uprising seemed inconsistent with the number of people involved. Some who witnessed the event firsthand testify the Parapus in question did not seem to be acting in anger, but suffering from some terrible agony, enough that they were no longer in their right minds. Yeah, the manga panel that I showed did imply that, so I like the visual storytelling there to compensate for the lack of a memorandum. But I'm not gonna bond with Bardon today. What I think I will be doing is I'll be bonding with Hulkenberg to set something up. In fact, on that note, I mocked the fortune teller earlier, but I think I'm actually going to have to use them because, honestly, also, let's make a save file that is after the boss fight, so I don't have to do that again in the case of any recording problems.
What say you?
And another reason why I've left a save file is, for a certain other reason. So yeah, low price of 250 Reeve that I'll get back by reloading my save file. This is just like the information guy in Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga. You pay for the information, then you reload your save so that you know that information. So, this is important because there's going to be a sand flash in the abandoned tomb in 3 days. So I believe this would mean there's a sand flash now if I start, like, my trip there, but then if I start my trip now, when I get there, it will not be a sand flash. Oh, that's tricky. And I can't actually tell if there's going to be a sand flash on the 4th day. Because if there's not, then I'd actually much rather do Bardon's bond now. Okay, you know what? If I'm going to be reloading anyway, I'm actually going to sleep one night just so that I can see what the weather forecast for the 4th day is. No sand flash. So, my plan does work, but I've been told to talk to a certain NPC in Martira's town square after defeating the boss of that dungeon. Here we go. Once famed painter.
What do you think?
Used to be a painter in the royal capital, had a patron. I painted the truth and they cut me loose for it.
Pardon?
What kind of truth did you paint, though? I was thinking that'd be something to do with, like, the person who painted,
Hello there.
Joanna's, portrait.
Now then.
Speaking of which, let's go ahead and sell the baby clothes and other stuff. But what I was saying was, I'm actually going to be doing Hulkenberg's bond today. Now, there is somebody inside this inn who has a quest for us. I'm going to save doing that until we have the requirement to complete it. And we will the next time we go on the road in the Gauntlet Runner. So, for now, let's continue training with Hulkenberg. And this is going to be a fairly interesting bond event. Because, yeah, thanks to our ability to teleport, we can go wherever we want to during, well, to any main city we want to, during our allies' bonding events. So if we need to go to Grand Trad for Hulkenberg, we can do that. However, we're near the gallows right now, and this is probably not going to end well. Yes, I remember him. He's the guy who's a giant asshole.
Wait.
And right now, he's executing people. Okay. That escalated quickly. One in Grand Trad, of course. Now, yeah, your response here doesn't actually matter. Generally speaking, whenever you're talking to somebody who is not the Bond character, your response doesn't really matter. Given this is Grand Trad, I get the sense slandering the honor of the Royal Knights meant he looked at a power person and didn't say something racist.
You...
Heed my words.
Okay, on the one hand, it is very disturbing they actually went through with the hanging and we weren't able to stop it. On the other, the fact that the, door at the bottom of the gallows was accompanied by a generic door opening noise, that takes a little bit out of it for me. I'm surprised people still live in Grand Trad at this point.
You... You cur.
Whoops.
What?
I get the sense that if he even tried, I mean, our archetypes are gonna just knock him on his ass instantly. It's funny how nearly nobody calls her by her first name, even herself. I mean, that's what we're working towards.
Apologies.
This one gives you the most mag, though I really wish I could say this. Yeah, I feel like if she was alone, she wouldn't have been able to resist decking him in the face.
Listen.
Okay, let's keep that in mind in case Hulkenberg ever asks to execute somebody.
You have given me such strength.
I feel like it takes ages for Knight to get 2 inheritance slots.
The truth is...
Huh, really? Seems like that's a long story that we'll hear another time. Mysterious listener! And that will be a story for another time, I suppose. So at first I was concerned that I had have nothing to do tonight, but... someone's available. And it's Heismay, now that we've completed the Martira dungeon. Before we do that, though, we were told by that, yeah, I'm gonna double tap that to go to warp here. We were told by the informants that Gloomhall sells accessories that prevent sleep. And we're about to be going to a dungeon full of mimics, so obviously we want sleep protection. Now, I could also buy the Praetorian Cloth or Phantasmal Dole. This one I kind of like. Effectively, it turns guarding into an even better version of the pass command, because it also just gives you a half press turn, but it increases your defense at the same time. But I think I want to take these. How much for I think I'll take 3 of them. And yeah, with that, I can afford a Praetorian Cloth as well. I like to have at least one of these, at least before I get the accessories that are, you know, super, super broken. I mean, I like a Malice Screen. Oh, that actually that sounds like it's like a Dreamcatcher. That's interesting. But yeah, I also like how the Plague Mask blocks, I like how the Plague Mask blocks poison. And from here, we can warp right back to Heismay.
Ah, it's you.
Yeah, I think I do have plenty of time to take care of the Grand Trad stuff as well before we leave Martira. Now, there is... okay, firstly, yes, this is where you need eloquence, so good thing that we were able to get up our debating skills. It helped us be better friends with our Batman.
I see.
Well, Bat Dad, as people call him. Best Bat Dad. The thing to know about Heismay, though, is that he is a very verbose person. All of his rank ups have a lot of dialogue choices, so yeah, you might want to have a guide, all these videos, handy while you're doing them, but this one I like a lot, because you'll see. So, this is actually kind of funny if you've done an agility build on Will, because then you'd think that he would actually be able to do well here, but I guess agility build isn't canon, because you're about to see. Literally teleports behind you, nothing personal, kid. Any of these options give the same amount, so I have to say this.
Alright.
Okay.
Well,
In a way, this almost justifies the protagonist having a choosable stat build.
then
Oh, he's gonna be so wrecked. And by castle, he means the little tent, and it's almost the exact same layout as it was back in the Sandworm's Den. He must have moved the whole thing to the Gauntlet Runner somehow. In fact, we must have done that when we captured him, because there's no way we've been back there since he joined us. Either of these are the same,
no.
in that they both give nothing. And this is actually interesting because this implies that Will, you know, regardless of us in the real world being familiar with the process of cremation, Will is not. Once again, showing that,
The truth is,
Will is not a proxy for the player. He is his own character. With, like, his own biases and thoughts. Not to pull a who starts a conversation like that, I just sat down, but both my grandparents were cremated, so, yeah, I have respect for the practice. And here is where we get into the real meat of Heismay's entire bond ranks. We need to find a place to bury his son.
no.
Let's do it.
Thank you.
In fact, none of your dialogue choices matter here. The options that give mag always give the same, and the others don't give anything.
Cheers.
Yeah, I suppose he finally can mourn his son. He was putting that off for so long.
My boy, are you watching? My thanks.
Anytime when you're free, besides the 2 nights in a row that you talk to Heismay.
Time marches on, and the age of a new king draws nearer.
So, I would normally get on the road now, but I can't do that, because if I did, then I would hit the sand flash once I arrived at that place. And yes, I'm gonna do the mausoleum, don't worry. I mean, I could theoretically do the mausoleum now, but like... Here's the thing. I really want to start Bardon. I have to start Bardon. Like, I can't bond with Hulkenberg anymore today, and if I went on the road, I wouldn't be able to increase her bond while on the road, because that's why I increased her bond last time, because her ranks 5 and 6 are both on the runner. But I would really, really like to get Bardon's link started now. Also, hi Gallica, let's triangle you. Yes, I want to do the Cuculus thing, But also, Bardon has a very good archetype for us in his bond.
Oh, you?
Yeah. I mean, he trusted her. He wouldn't have investigated it. It makes sense.
The truth is...
Yeah, we can make time.
Thank you. And let me say it again. The town is safe now thanks to you. Couldn't be more grateful to you.
And full voice acting means that we're getting a rank up. And we've got full voice acting here for rank 1, and yes, now I'm going to credit Bardon's voice actor, because I felt like if I had done Bardon's VA credit earlier, it might have indirectly given the impression that he was going to be a villain in this arc and not a follower, so I wanted to save it until now.
Bardon! I heard you fixed up the hole in my shop's wall while I was gone. I could kiss you.
Why, 'twere no trouble at all. Your bonny wife had need of help, and we all have need of your shop.
Well, that may be, but I never knew a captain to be so generous.
My only wish is to render assistance in any way I can. Whatever wee matters I can take care of, I will. Even if they might not turn out as well as yours did.
What the hell? You bumped into me?
Well, who could avoid those massive ears, you damn Rousant?
Looks like I need to go keep a brawl at bay.
Ah, yes, so many Scottish accents here.
Hey, listen, both of you. Enough already. Sorry about that. Right tragedy for the town hero to see something so disgraceful.
Seems like there's trouble.
It's not just them. Everyone's been on edge lately. It's odd. Neighbors coming to blows. Good lads fighting. Whole town is right anxious. And that's what I wanted to discuss with you. I'm curious about you and your pals. You're all of different tribes, eh? Even got Heismay to join up with you. How exactly did you get so many different people to come together as one?
This is actually very interesting, because, like, my answer is, we were just nice to each other, that's really all it is. But I suppose Bardon's looking for advice when it comes to potential, like, town leadership, because, you know... And to be fair, getting together a group of, right now, 5 people, including Euros, 6 including Gallica, is a lot easier than getting an entire town to get along. I'd rather say we have a shared vision than a common enemy, even though this is true.
We have a shared vision, one which will benefit everyone.
Though now I'm curious what he says if you choose the common enemy one.
That answer's befitting of you. So that's what brought you all together. And you're the idealistic leader. So it is. What we need here is a leader everyone acknowledges. We need a new system where the people themselves govern the town.
I think that sounds like a fine idea.
I'm much assured by your words. Thanks for being so accommodating. If you can manage it, would you help me out again sometime? With your consult, I know this town will keep getting better.
I'd be happy to help.
Okay, I'm very glad that you didn't voice that as How Can I Refuse, because that's a villain song from a hilariously bad Barbie movie, and I will never hear that phrase the same way again.
Oh, that would be a great help. Thank you. With your support, I'll be sure to make this town a nicer place to live.
Oh wow, it's both hands. I was about to say, it can't exactly get much worse than a place where children are routinely kidnapped to feed a demon baby.
The Honorable Guardsman, Bardon. Within him dwells the virtue of the Commander.
Yes, I've been waiting for this archetype.
Nurture thy bond with him, and a new power yet slumbering within thee may awaken.
I shall protect the town you all saved.
It's been a long time coming, but we finally have the support of a good Scotsman who's not gonna die on us. Hopefully. Bardon is an optional bond, but a very worthwhile one because the commander line is insanely busted. It's also necessary for Stroll's ultimate archetype. As for stats, he only requires Eloquence rank 3, but there are a few more gates in his progression. The most notable being that getting to rank 7 requires you to defeat a level 60 boss. And his rank 8, and therefore also the Warlord archetype, is only available at the start of the final arc. And trust me when I say, if Warlord was available earlier, it would absolutely break the game in half, so I see why they did this. And yet they also allowed Peerless Stonecleaver early. Anyway, his abilities! At rank 4, you take half damage when the entire party is in the back row. I know I like to set myself to all back row by default, but once a battle begins, I often have physical attackers stepping forward. So you'll get the main benefit from this ability if you use a lot of the mage or gunner lines. But this rank also unlocks Bardon's care packages. This is what I alluded to in Brigida's bond. Once you have both Brigida and Bardon's care packages, you have a 20% chance of receiving one at the start of each day if you spend that day in town, but if you spend it on the road and have both of them unlocked, your odds go up to 45% each. Just like Brigida's, if this ability fails to trigger 5 times in a row, it's guaranteed to activate the next time. Unlike Brigida, who just gives money, Bardon has a whole host of possible items he can give you, usually HP or MP items, and it depends on his follower rank. At higher ranks, he can give you archetype experience items. At rank 5, you have higher odds of escaping battles. At rank 6, swapping a party member out for somebody in reserve only costs half a press turn, which is amazing. And at rank 7, escape attempts from non-boss encounters will always succeed. This is actually very similar to Hifumi's Confidant in Persona 5, only it also gives you a really broken battle class at the same time. So yeah, definitely do Bardon's bond, but be aware there are going to be a few roadblocks that stop you from marathoning it.
Commander!
Finally, we have the Commander archetype. This one is all about buffs. Its stats lean towards magic and endurance, though they're not as high as dedicated attacking classes. It does get some pretty strong offensive skills though. Also, being weak to strike can be a problem. Its hero passive increases the odds of enemies being stunned by support attacks from allies on the field. I don't use Commander enough on Will to know if this is actually good, so if anyone in the comments could enlighten me. What I do know is that its skill set's pretty good. Mara Kakaja is the first non-synthesis multi-target buff we've got access to. We have Rebellion straight from Persona 3, raising the crit rate of one ally by 15%. Fiery Strike is a fairly strong physical fire attack that, unlike standard fire skills, has a chance to burn. Flame Vanguard is a slightly stronger multi-target version, but it's magical, not physical. But the real prize here is at rank 9, Formation of Vigor. This buffs the attack of every party member by 2 stages, at the cost of forcing them all into the front row. If your commander is fast, everyone can pull back before the enemy takes their turn, but if you use that late, you risk taking a lot of damage. Your physical attackers will want to be in the front row anyway, so this does save you some time. It's expensive in terms of MP, so I'd save this for boss fights, but in those situations, it is very useful. And at rank 20, you get essentially Tetra and Makara Break in one skill. I'm not sure why this needs its own name. Once again, useful for one very specific boss fight in the Brylehaven arc. Commander isn't just needed for its own extremely good archetype lineage, but also for the 3rd tier of Warrior, Samurai, and the 2nd tier of Merchant, Tycoon. This, by extension, means Heismay needs it for his ultimate archetype, but honestly, these buffs on someone so fast, I'll take it. Commander's synthesis skills are interesting. For one, it's your first access to the Megado line of skills. Almighty magic damage to everything with the power of a second tier spell. Then you have the mouthful that is Blunderblast maneuver. It's pretty cheap cost for its power and targeting all enemies, also includes an agility debuff. And then you have Assault Beacon, which buffs all stats of the entire party. I would normally be screaming about how good this skill is, and I'm not, because Warlord has something even better. Look forward to that later.
I'd be glad if you came back soon. I'll try to have good news for you by then.
Yeah, we'll come back when we can, though, as I said, there's a lot of roadblocks in this bond. Also, speaking of which, Bardon's bond goes in directions that let's just say I wasn't expecting, and I'll be covering that once we get there. The first few notes of the Martira night theme to me sound like Strangers in the Night. And the day theme sounds like Swing Low Sweet Chariot. I don't know what it is, sometimes certain songs sound like other things, and I guess the Swing Low Sweet Chariot comparison makes sense if I was trying to actually get out of the tavern. Makes sense if you think about this place as like a very devout town, but like, most Australians know Swing Low Sweet Chariot as a British sports song, because we like to make fun of it because we often play against the British in the Ashes, which is a cricket competition that Australians and British have a very intense rivalry over. So we have no followers available tonight, and Bardon's been unlocked all the way down there. Oh, but while I'm here, let's check in with the Coronation Rock to collect our mag from the massive boost in position we just got.
Isn't that... Hey!
So yeah, Godot's been kicked out of the top 3. Unfortunately, Rudolph is probably even worse, if you know what that guy's policies are. Oh, there's our mag.
Yep.
So, make sure you talk to this gate guard at Krigante Castle during every arc, because he'll give you an item here. So we get the Mind Break Hammer, which will break Makarakan. You know, maybe we can hear the rest of this story. Because, yeah, the Nidia just run off to get a knife.
After that...
6 tribes will be able to share the 8 loaves of bread equally. Their dilemma seemed nearly at its end. Yes, and 2 of the tribes had left. But then the Klumar woman pointed at the Paribus man and said, oh.
Indeed.
Okay, so normally I, would think this was really heartwarming, but I actually hate cream-filled bread. Like, it's a very, Japanese thing, and I just, bread is savory to me. It really bothers me when there's, sweet things put into bread. Anyway, yeah, it's just a whole, different tastes thing. And yeah, I don't like fruit bread either. It's just, bread has to be bread to me.
Oh.
Ah, interesting. Huh, yeah, because there's, basically every archetype has a legendary king associated with it. And I don't think I ever actually saw this story on my first playthrough, and it's cool, yeah, and someone's an elder who brings the 8 loads, yeah.
Alright.
How do we get a little bit more imagination out of that? I think imagination and wisdom are our best stats right now, which makes a lot of sense.
Time marches on, and the age of a new king draws nearer.
All right. right then.
Okay, so this rank up for Heismay has to be done in the day. However, I am running out of time left in this arc, and I'm gonna say before I do that, but I just want to make sure that I'm absolutely positive about the weather. Today is Sand Flash, tomorrow will be fine. Good. I think I'm gonna call things now because we had 2 archetype bios and a new Bond bio. And I'll see you next time as we get on the Gauntlet Runner and head towards the abandoned tomb to finally fulfill the goat's request. The other goat alongside Neuros. And Bardon, and Heismay, and everyone's goat in this game. Including this actual goat here.